Hi, I'm Andrew Burke, and I've been a Toastmaster for over 6 years now. I recently did a few talks on my Toastmasters Club using and then explaining some of the more advanced presentation techniques one can now do with modern software like Keynote and PowerPoint. Some of the other Toastmasters in my club asked me to record these talks for reference, so here we are. Please note that everything in this talk is live directly out of Keynote. There's been no post-production compositing or anything else like that. I did do a few adjustments for balancing of some volume levels and a few small cuts for flow purposes, but otherwise everything here is exactly like it would have come out of a screen share in Keynote on a Zoom call, just like I did in the original presentations. So hopefully you'll learn a few new cool things here, and let me know what you think in the comments. All right, ready? Now, as a Toastmaster, I'm always looking at presentations or performances for inspiration on style and technique. YouTube turns out to be an amazing resource for this. This particular video showed up on my YouTube feed about a year ago, and I just can't stop watching it. Okay, now the song is extremely catchy and uplifting, and the singer gives a powerful and strong performance. And okay, maybe I have a little bit of a crush, but also this song does have a whole lot that it can teach us. Therefore, today, I will share 3 things I learned about speaking from a metal singer covering a Eurovision-winning pop song on a Dutch music variety show. Don't worry, this all makes sense. Stay with me. Now, unless you're into Northern European metal, which I admit I wasn't until recently, Floor Jansen may be one of the best singers you've never heard of. With groups like Nightwish, she often performs in front of tens of thousands of fans in huge open-air festivals like this all around the world. But she's also been a regular on the Dutch music show Best Zangers, or Best Singers, doing more mainstream songs like show tunes and Lady Gaga covers. But this 2021 performance was different. Because yes, she was doing a virtual performance, on screen, calling in from home, like so many of us have had to do over the last few years. So today, I want to share 3 things this video has taught me about speaking. First, the power of effective body language. Second, how a Toastmasters talk can often be improved by thinking of it as if it's a pop song. And last but not least, some inspiration for how to perform remotely with impact. So first, I want to talk about hands. Why? Good question, Floor. Well, we talk about body language a lot in Toastmasters, but it's easy to lose all of that in a virtual presentation. We're often in talking head format, we're pinned in place by the camera and the microphone, and we're often cropped in really close. But here you'll notice Floor is quite a ways back from the camera, like I'm trying to be here too. This lets you see most of her body and most of the range of motion of her arms and her hands. Now Floor is sort of notable for having a very expressive, distinctive way of using her hands when she's singing. But what's especially interesting here, though, is how much she doesn't use her hands at the start of the performance. Now they say that talking about music is like dancing about architecture, so I'm going to play the first part and shut up for a little bit and let you actually hear some of the song and see some of the performance. I will have a bunch of text pop-ups showing up every so often explaining what's going on for a bit of context. So here we go.
Why can't this moment last forevermore? Tonight eternity's an open door. No. Never stop doing the things you do. Don't go. In every breath I take, I'm breathing you. Euphoria, forever till the end of time. From now on, only you and I. We're going on. Euphoria. Piece of art, a beating love within my heart. We're going
Okay, besides the steady build of motion from totally still to this huge explosion, I especially like how she uses key pieces of body language to punctuate key moments, like that big finale there, even when she first starts moving her hands. The original Eurovision performance, done by another performer back in 2012, was a meticulously choreographed dance number. But here her body language is mostly free-flowing to reflect the performance style. Now, we've all seen talks where the speaker has specific body language, it seems, for almost every sentence, and it can be stilted, kind of like a mime performance. Instead, think about doing like Floor Jansen here, having a few key moments that punctuate key moments in your talk. Like Floor, I tend to use my hands a lot when I'm performing, so I've really been inspired by her constraint here. So try to bring this into your next talk. Next, I want to talk about this as a pop song, especially its structure. Well, another good question, Floor, because the structure can carry meaning and help the viewer understand where they're at in a speech, and pop songs are often very, very good at structure. This song, originally performed by Loreen back in 2012, won the Eurovision Song Contest that year. Now, Eurovision may be wacky, but any song that wins is guaranteed to be precision engineered for impact and for catchiness. We can learn a lot from that engineering. So this song is organized into like a standard verse-chorus structure, which reminds the listener of the big hooks because they come back in a predictable place, but also the repetition helps the audience understand where they are in the song. It's only 3.5 minutes, it goes on this big up and down journey, but you always know where you're at. Now you'll notice in this talk, I've gone back to that why video clip at the start of every new section and always finished with a checkbox. This helps everyone know where they are. This is like the speaking version of the chorus in a song. So the song's only about 3 minutes long, shorter than a Toastmasters talk, yet it takes us on a huge emotional journey. But the structure helps keep us anchored in this journey so we know where we're at. So try to bring some of that into your next talk. And last but not least, how to slay while performing remotely.
Why?
Well, because since 2020, this has been the new reality for us. Virtual presentations have often felt like a liability, but Floor shows how they can be an asset. Now, Floor had just been finished setting up a home studio when the pandemic hit, and it ended up becoming her main performance venue for several years while everyone was in lockdown. And then when this performance came up, this opportunity to sing on Best Zangers, she had just had gallbladder surgery and couldn't travel. So, like so many of us, she called it in from home. Now, after making so many videos in this home studio, you can tell that she's learned a lot about how to make it work best for her. So you can see the lighting is strong and direct, not a lot of shadows, and it works really well for her particular outfit and complexion. And the background, you'll notice, is nicely textured. It's contrasting with what's in the foreground, but it's not distracting. It's fairly consistent. It doesn't have like books you want to read the titles of or anything. It's just this nice wood grain. It's textured but not distracting, really important. Also, do you notice that distinctive looking microphone that she has? That's an AKG C12, known as the holy grail of microphones. And it goes for $7,000. But you can buy it right now with Apple Pay if you want. Anyway, but not only does it sound amazing, but she's used it for years and knows exactly how to use it to sound best for her particular style of singing. It's kind of like her second instrument besides her own voice. She also has set up the effects and audio processing in her own home studio to fit with her exact voice and the kind of performance that she's doing here. And last but not least, she even has a fan running so that her hair and her diaphanous clothes can look even more epic blowing in the breeze. Now, I'm not saying we all need to mortgage our homes to get vacuum tube microphones handcrafted in Vienna, and a fan might admittedly be a bit much if you're not literally a rock star, but it's really worth making some effort to have a dedicated space with the right tools for presenting at home, because we're all going to keep doing a lot more of this as we go. So do you have a space in your home that you've optimized for Zoom calls and presenting? I hope you do by now. Do you have a dedicated microphone that you know works, or at least headphones that you know are reliable? Do you have proper lighting? And do you have a background? Now, this background is just actually some shelving we put covered with curtains, and right outside of the frame, there's our spare room. It's just full of storage and stuff. It's a complete mess, but nobody has to know that, right? It's just what's in the box is all that counts. So with a microphone and audio and lights that fit her performing style, Floor probably looks and sounds better at home than she would have in that professional TV studio if she'd actually gone in. Remember, if you're presenting virtually, you're on your home turf. So make sure to give yourself that home turf advantage. So try to bring that into your next talk. So that's 3 big lessons learned from 3 minutes of a pop song. Next time you're on YouTube, look for your own inspiration. And I hope you find your own euphoria. Thank you very much.